you have fun?
We did. Did have a stomach bug in some of my way, but other than that, it was really fun. And by the way, we did not steal the crown jewels.
Oh, right.
Although we were there like that night, the night right before that happened.
Somebody stole them.
It was a heist on Monday morning at the Louvre. No, Sunday morning.
It was like during the day too, wasn't
It was
it?
like at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And they made off, in 7 minutes, they made off with like all the
That's incredible.
priceless jewelry. Yeah.
I have a request.
I joked to Bev that I stole them so that you guys could auction them off.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's going to be my
That's your
donation.
contribution.
Okay, noisy out.
All right, Isabella, what's your
My request was to borrow a pencil, but we just solved it.
Okay. All right, let's stand and get singing. All right, let's start off. We're kind of reminding ourselves of kind of the things we were talking about a couple weeks ago about getting ourselves ready to make a free and open, well-supported sound. So that starts with preparing our body and kind of getting our posture set. So let's just do a little bit of work, and we're going to just bend from the hips. We're going to bend in this direction. So just bending this way. Just gently. You don't need to do. It's not calisthenics. Just get a little gentle stretch on the side and back up to the middle. Right, stretch up in the middle.
Is it
Now
possible
we're going to
for
go
people
over
on the
this
ends
way.
to kind of move out a little bit because we're really tight in the middle here? Thanks.
Right, just that little gentle stretch and back up to the middle. Stretch up again and let your arms come down. And then let's just kind of loosen our neck and head by just relaxing your neck and letting your chin drop towards your chest. You're not forcing anything. You're not trying to stretch actively. You're just letting the weight of your head make a gentle stretch along the back of your neck. Just relaxing. And once you've found, once it's nice, once your neck is nice and relaxed, we're going to just gently roll your ear towards your right shoulder. I'm going opposite to you, but don't go past your shoulder. So just when your ear is kind of over your shoulder, you should feel that same gentle stretch that you were feeling at the back of your neck. You should now be feeling that side of your neck. And then rolling back down to the middle, never forcing anything, never, kind of just letting the weight of your head. Right? And then we're going to keep going past the middle to the other side. And stretch the other side. And back down to the middle. And stopping at the middle, we're just going to let your head hang there just for a moment. Really relaxing. And then imagining that there is a string attached to the top of your head. You're going to start to roll up. And the string is pulling you upward. So it's really straightening out everything. And we'll just take a moment to kind of do this to our shoulders to remind ourselves that open posture that we're looking for. And quickly checking our feet, knees, hips, so that we're ready to breathe and to make sound. So let's take a deep breath in, and then we'll let it out slowly. We'll do that one more time. A deep breath in, and slowly. You look really scrunched over there. Do we need to move everything this way? instead of exhaling it slowly, we're going to exhale it very quickly and just go shh, just really quickly like a train stopping, okay? Breathing in and shh. Yeah, so even faster than that, rather than trailing off, just a shh, just quickly. Get rid of all the breath in one go. Breathing in and shh. That's it. All right. Now we're going to add a little bit of tone to that, and we're going to take that deep breath in, and we're going to do, we did this 2 weeks ago, we're going to do yo, 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 yo. So 4 times, yo. Easy. Breathing in and yo, 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 yo. That's it. One more time to really feel that. You probably felt as you did that, you probably felt that muscle engaging, and that's exactly what we want to do here. So breathing in and yo, 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 yo. Great. Let's take that same idea, and if we could have a G above middle C. And just sing that yo instead of shouting it, but with a good amount of support. And it doesn't have to be yo, 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 but yo, yo. So it's with that same energy. Breathing and yo, 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 yo. Very good. All right. So just kind of stretching things out because we're gonna kind of move into in a minute. We're gonna move into talking about different vowels. So I want to just kind of stretch that out. So just doing a yawn. Right. I was gonna have you just do yawn without the noise, but we're gonna go straight to it. That's all right. This time we'll add the pitch that you just did. So, vowels. Let's think about what a lot of times I'll say something like brighten the vowel or a tall vowel. What do I mean by that? And that's what we're going to talk about for just a quick second. So if we say, I'm going to have you say 4 vowels in a row, and I want you to, as we say them, feel what changes in your face and mouth. Okay? So the vowels that we're going to go from the openest vowel, ah. So say ah. Ah. And then we're going to kind of start to close and say eh. And then I. And then e. So let's do that more quickly. So ah. E. So what do you notice is sort of happening there? Who can make a quick observation? Yeah, so we're starting, our mouth is very open, and then it's our lips and our kind of collapsing down that way. All right? So that is kind of moving from a tall open vowel towards a brighter, because E is just about our brightest vowel, right? Now let's think about a different sort of axis, if you will, but it starts with ah. We're going to go from ah to aw to o to oo. So let's make that shift. So ah, aw, o, oo. So what's happening there?
Round.
But we're closing, but it's not the same as what happened before, right? It's sort of we're going from very open to a more kind of covered or closed, right? So we have, if you think about it as a Y with ah at the bottom of that, right? So we have going from open to bright, and then open to closed, and then there's everything in between all of that. So a lot of times if you look in a diction book or a vocal technique book, you'll see this V with these kind of, looks like a rainbow in between. So we want to be able to kind of use that as our palette and to move from those different vowels. So let's do that again. We'll kind of go through those 2 scales. So starting from we'll do the ah to E vowel. So we have ah, E, right? And then we have ah, aw, o, oo. So those are the sort of the main vowels. That's not the only vowels that there are in the world, of course, but those are the ones that we work with. Let's work with a couple of those as we add some pitch to that. If we can have middle C. So we do re, me, ma, vowels, I want you to really think about how your embouchure, that's a way that you can talk about that, how that changes as you cycle through those different vowels. Here we go, and now we'll go up a half step. Let's do an experiment. Let's try to make this next one as bright as we can. So we're going to shift a lot of those vowels and change the shape of our mouths to make it sound very bright. Not that we would want to do this, but this is just experimenting. And so what did you do to make that bright? I noticed most of your lips all went like this, right? So that's one thing that because we found that as we went from ma, ah to e, the main thing that changed was that we spread that. Now let's see if we can do the opposite of that. We'll go up another half step, and we'll see if we can all make it very tall and sort of more towards ooh. Okay? Ready? And. Let's go up. Let's find a middle ground. That's when we have to shift. If we have a bright vowel and we're in a higher range, we have to shift and make that a little taller, make it a little more towards ah. Likewise, or counter likewise, whatever that is, if we're in a low range and we have a tall vowel, sometimes we have to make it brighter to help it to kind of cut through a little bit. All right, let's go where we just were and think about especially that first me sound. Ready? And one more. Great. So now we're gonna go work our way downward, and we'll start on a new sound. So let's have F sharp major, my favorite, going down key. Let's do review day. I don't think I actually focused this somewhere. This is probably like looking at the wall.
Bookmark, you know, like,
All right, we're gonna review
it takes
what we
extra
have worked on so far. This is a high, middle, low, just in case you didn't have that written down. See how much you remember. 3, 4. have celebrate a new day, celebrate, celebrate a new day, dedicate. You hear how that sort of comes out of that. The others are a little bit more legato, even though there's energy behind it, and then we want to hear those different words. And I know it's one of those pieces where there's like all those icates. we had that one in Lifting as We Climb too, that had out all those words that were so similar. I forget now what they were, but so let's try that one more time, middles and lows. And see if this time you can also add in, we start off pianissimo, and then we're kind of growing very slowly. Your piano at measure 69, I guess just that is going to continue to grow past this section after that, to mezzo piano and so forth. But for right now, you only do pianissimo to piano.
You want new day or new day?
New days. I think new is fine. If this was, yeah. I think it's going to feel fussy to do it new. New. If we were doing like Emily Dickinson, I would do that or something, but it's not that. Here we go. 1 and 2 and celebrate a new day, celebrate, celebrate a new day, celebrate, celebrate a new day, dedicate, celebrate a new day, dedicate, dedicate a new day, elevate, dedicate a new day, elevate, elevate a new day, resonate, elevate a new day, resonate. And it's kind of giving you that clue because the last word is going to become the first word for the next phrase there a little bit. All right. Then the high part is kind of doing your little trumpeting part over top of that. You don't need to go over that though, I think, right? That's not tricky.
Just have to have fun.
Yeah. All right. Let's try if we can put that together, and I'll try to do this to help you. Here we go. Ready and celebrate a new day. Celebrate, celebrate a new day. Celebrate, celebrate a new day. Dedicate, celebrate a new day. Dedicate, dedicate a new day. Elevate, dedicate a new day. Elevate, elevate a new day. Resonate, elevate a new day. Resonate. All right. And then here we get into this like waterfall sort of section where we're just kind of going over and over again.
We're cutting off each of those, not at all together. And that's a lot of teams.
Yeah, so it's always going to be on the following rest, right? It's as easy as that. Let's just do a few of them so we can get that. Top of 6. Do that second measure, top of 6. 1, 2, and 1. So you just have to think. It's not hard. It's not confusing where it goes. You just have to do it. All right, let's go where we just left off. Let's start right at the top of 7. And I'd like to go, we're going to just go to the downbeat of the next page. Don't go past that, okay? Here we go. 1, 2. So where it starts to get funky is at the bottom of the page, right?
Question, where do we breathe on that page? Because there is kind of a rest.
You can actually breathe anywhere in between any of those words. Yeah. Let me hear the high part at pick up to E. 1, 2, 1. And so forth, and so forth. So that's where that rhythm shifts a little bit. Let's hear the middles at measure 77. Ready. not the constant thing. It's the same as what the highs just did, it's just shifted over a little bit. And last but not least, let me hear the lows at the second half of measure 77. And 1. Resonate, celebrate, dedicate, elevate, fascinate, celebrate, celebrate, and so forth, and then that, yeah. So I think knowing for yourselves, for each of you, that rhythm that starts at a little bit before E, it shifts at the bottom of that page to kind of a faster, even though the notes kind of, the pattern of the pitches is similar, the rhythm is kind of shifting there. So just be kind of ready. It's almost like a train taking off a little bit. Let's go back a little bit before, actually let's go all the way back to D, letter D, bottom of page 5. Yeah, yes, I think if you just play a pitch here and there, if it seems like, yeah, I think it actually is harder, right? And probably impossible for you. 1, 2, and celebrate a new day, celebrate, celebrate a new day, celebrate, celebrate a new day, dedicate, celebrate a new day, dedicate, dedicate a new day, elevate, dedicate a new day, elevate, elevate a new day, resonate, elevate a new day, resonate, I think that's the first time we got to that without a total train wreck. My train analogies tonight. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. So now the only thing we have to add in, besides just feeling more confident about all of that, is the crescendo, right? So we have this. You guys did a great job, especially the lows and the middles, on being really quiet and building that energy at letter D, and then a little bit more on page 6. But then when we come to all these little sort of arpeggios, we're getting into the mezzo forte range, and then that finally at the end that should be forte. It's not marked there forte, but that's what I think. Somebody's hand was up.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could play the last celebrate in the low, the alto line.
Sure you can.
It's measure, I think it's measure 90. It's right after measure 90.
The very last
Yeah,
celebrate.
Very last celebrate. So
The resonate.
And Allison, can you play the resonate right before that? That's what sounds like a bugle call to me. My camp days. All right, let's see if we why don't you stand? Let's see if we can try that one more time, and we're gonna move on to something else. I realize that we also had some challenges at letter C, but we'll work on that another time. Where was it? Letter D, back at the bottom of 5. So kind of think of this whole section, all the way from D, all the way to that fermata at the whatever at the end of all of that. That's like one big gigantic crescendo, like a train moving out of the station. 1 and celebrate a new day, celebrate, celebrate a new day, celebrate, celebrate a new day, dedicate, celebrate a new day, dedicate, dedicate a new day. to Ave Generosa. I think this was the one that you worked on last week, yeah? How did that go? Rave reviews. All right, well, let's see how it works. Actually, let's have them here with you. Ready for it? low part, your best chance to find that A is to listen to the D that the middles have for that whole measure, and then they are still singing that right before you come in. Ignore the highs and their E. Just listen to the D, and then find your A from that. So let's hear how we would do that. Middles, would you sing right on the second half of the word whole on measure 32, and then you change to O there, and then from that middle lows we're going to find that A. Okay, ready and 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you can, it's really easy to find it from that, right? You just think the fifth above that. Let's do that again, and without the highs, and then we'll have the highs sing their A and confuse everything. Ready, and. Great, and now we'll have the high sing. Now, you can find the A from the E too, it's just up a fourth instead of a fifth, so either way, if for some reason the E is easier for you to hear. So the same thing. Starting with the middle, and. Yeah, great. And now that we have it, it needs to be a little softer than that, but good confidence. All right, good. And backing up a little bit before that, let's go back to page 4. Oh, I know what I did want to do. Let's go back to the bottom of 3. All these oohs that we have, each of them should have that kind of crescendo in and then decrescendo as you crescendo to the second note and then decrescendo away from that. So let's see if we can add that in right at starting at measure 17 with the low part. The end. Feel like these breaths or waves or something like that. And as I was just saying to the chamber ensemble before, as you all were gathering, we do really well at the crescendo part of that, not always as well. And that's every chorus I've worked with has that issue. It's really easy to crescendo, less easy to do the second part of that, which is the decrescendo. Let's do that one more time, and we'll continue on past that. Bottom of 3, and. Yeah, make sure you have that marked, last measure at the top of that page where we just stopped, is one of those places where we're all coming to a unison and we're having a decrescendo at the same time. So that's automatically going to sound louder when the low part comes up to that B flat there. So we all have to adjust, particularly lows, because you're the moving part. So you guys have to really work extra hard to make that decrescendo happen. Let's do from 23, the bottom of 4.
Question.
Really big crescendos. Hang on one second. Really big crescendo, you only have less than 2 measures to get from piano to forte, and then we're going to come right back down to piano by the end of that. And question.
Do we cut that B flat on the first beat of measure 28 on the downbeat?
Yeah, you just stop the sound. Since there's not like a hard consonant that we need to place, so you just stop the sound right before the downbeat because it's the piano that is holding that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. What did I say last? Second measure, bottom of 4. 3 and. gonna give you 3. So she's holding, Allison's holding that. I'll give you 3. I behold. Okay? Yeah. Okay, and that's what I'll do right now. 3. Can I hear the high part, please, where you first come in? I have to be careful not to say, with all the celestial seasoning. Oh, now you're going to robots. 1 and 2. Off. Yeah, so we're hanging a little bit on the underside of the pitch. I don't know if you're hearing that. So we want a better breath under that. We want to like give ourselves a nice open, kind of space to let that kind of ring and be on the top of the pitch. You want to do that one more time, Hans? Okay. Here you go. 1 and 2. Yeah. And I hear it right on Celeste. So can you make that a little taller instead of right? And 1 and 2. Yeah. If you kind of hook into the all and sort of think about that vowel and let that carry you through, I think that will help. All the celestial instead of all the celestial, right? 1 and 2. Much better. 1, 2. Okay? Okay? Good. All right. Let me hear the middles. Right here, come in. You're kind of leading off this whole thing. And 1. Yeah, so I'm going to say the same thing to you guys that I just said, right? It's very, that celestial is kind of bright. Make it taller. All right, good. That's perfect. I didn't even realize that we were going to use this, what we did in the warm-up so quickly. And 1. Better. And let's jump to the next place. And 1. Great. So for both parts and for you guys as well, be really careful that our 8th notes, when we have regular 8th notes, that they don't turn into part of a triplet. Da dee da da. Ba bee ba ba bee. It's subtle, but it's really, you really want to make sure those 8th notes, when they're by themselves or on and Loza, we're gonna go through your part in just a second. I just want to hear those two parts together. And one. With all the celestial symphony, resounding through. One and two. With all the celestial symphony, resounding through. With all the celestial symphony, resounding through. I screwed you up on that. It's my fault on that one. I keep trying to give you that on beat 2, and it's not. It's on beat 3, so that's on me. Just do where the high part comes in at the top of the page, last measure. 1 and 2. All right, great. Let's hear the low part. And 1. 1 and 2. And that's still forte there, so don't back off until after you sing the word through. Let's do that one more time. And 1. 1 and 2. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And 2. Let's do that one again at the top of the page. And 1. 1 and 2. It's that last resounding. I don't think we're 100% in agreement there on resounding. 1 and 2. There we go. Now I think we had agreement there. Let's put that all together, starting at the top of 8 with the middles. And you hear how, like, as each part has that tune, you kind of emerge to the forefront. I'm thinking, go like that for the other parts a little bit. All right, here we go. And 1. Let's put, I think we have a little trickiness at the top of 9 between the middles and the lows. So let me hear just those two parts at the top of 9. Right on it. And 1. Good. Okay, good. I think that clears that up. All right, I think I better move on to the next piece. Keep working on that one. This is definitely one of our trickier ones. We've got about 3 or so pieces that are a little more challenging than the other ones, so it's just going to take a little bit more effort. You had sectionals as part of our regular rehearsal last week, of course, but that does not take the place of regular sectional section leaders. So get those going. Now is the time to start, having those extra outside of rehearsals. We'll spend some time on, especially our more challenging pieces on this Saturday as well. But some of these, some of the pieces on this program are pretty straightforward and easy, and you may not need to put in as much time, but there are a few that you're going to need to, we just don't have the rehearsal time to go over every little part multiple times. But you're doing well, and we're on track, so that's okay. But just keep plowing away on it. All right. Speaking of challenging pieces, let's turn to "I Shall Keep Singing." And we'll review what we have done so far. think probably more of you don't know it than is my guess. See how much it is. Sorry, I'm gonna give you 1, 2. Sorry, that's my, 1, 3 and 1. And 1. Alright, just before we continue on, let's get that rhythm. I know that's a little bit tricky. Let's just speak at birds at the bottom of the first page. Oh, that's wrong. Thought maybe it was the birds passing by. Alright, just speaking at birds. And 1. Birds will pass me on their way to yellower pine. Yeah, I actually have a really hard time with that too, so if you're struggling with it, don't feel bad. Way to yellower climes. It's weird how it fits with that. Let's try that one more time from birds. And 1. Birds will pass me on their way to yellower climes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Each with a robin's expectation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. I with my red breast and my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So those with and with my, I explained this when we were first looking at it. It looks more confusing than it actually is. If you think of it as just a duple against a triplet, that's all it is. It's just written out instead of just with a little 2 over the bar or over the beam, I should say. Yeah. All right. Let's put pitch back to that spot right on birds and with pitch. This time. 3, 4, 1. Birds will pass me on their way to totally change to piano there on that singing. All right? And the rhythm is, you have singing, shall keep, singing, singing. That's your rhythm there. All right, let's go right to the top of 3, second measure. And altos, your part is, you be nice and confident on that, you know, when you're coming in against differently than the sopranos. All right, and. second I shall keep in the second system. 1, 2. Yeah, there we go. Let me hear the two alto parts and alto twos. In case you're wondering, yes, you should sing the small notes. All right. Let me hear just the alto twos, the final singing there. 1, sing. One more time. 1, sing. Great. Let's put it with the last, the I shall keep right before that. 1, 2. I shall keep singing. Good. Let me hear the alto ones, just the final singing. 1, singing. One more time. 1, singing. And then also with the I shall keep right before that. 1, 2. I shall keep singing. Good. Put those two parts together from the I shall keep. 1, 2. I shall keep singing. Everybody from measure 28. There's a cello rondo that starts in measure 27 there. So now that we're confident on the notes, we want to move. I'm not going to do a huge cello rondo, just a little bit, like it's just getting more excited. So just come with me. Let's back up. Watch it, making a little face. Walked so many steps in Paris. I think on Saturday, the day that I robbed the Louvre. I think I had like 19,000 steps.
Because you were running away.
Yeah, rules. All right, back to the top of 3, second measure. 2 and. I shall keep singing. I shall keep singing. Now watch. I shall keep singing. Let's keep going on to did any of you, because I think that's as far as we got together, and then I assigned you to try to look at the next section. Did any of the sections get to that? A little bit? All right, good. Let's go ahead and speak the rhythm first. It's very similar to what we had before, not exactly the same, but it's very similar. So this is the top of 4 speaking rhythm. So we have this tempo 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Look. When I take my place in summer. And 1. But I shall bring a fuller 2, a fuller 2. Yeah, watch that triplet is faster than you think. Fuller. Fuller 2, a little faster than that. Just right at 38 and 1. But I shall bring a fuller 2, a fuller 2. And then we're right in. So tune a fuller tune best right on to vespers. One more time at but I shall bring. And 1. But I shall bring a fuller 2, a fuller 2. Vespers are sweeter than matins. Yeah. matins. Matins, yeah.
What is that?
What is a matins? So it's like the opposite of vespers. It's a church service basically, or a prayer service.
It's like
The hours,
What?
the hours.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, there's
I don't know, in the north they say matins.
vespers, matins, non
Matins.
or something.
Chime.
Yeah, matins is in the morning. It's like matin. All right.
How is senior pronounced?
Since this is an Emily Dickinson poem, we're going to pronounce it with sort of very kind of American pronunciation. Signor, signor.
And the S2s are going down, right?
The what?
The
Yeah, we have-
S2s go down to the alto line?
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I didn't notice that. Thank you. Yeah, so that's just the soprano ones on that line that we just had. All right, can we try some pitch there? Late. And one. And there is a retard there, it's hard to see in there because it's tiny. So on that last senor, there's a retard that's happening. So really soprano ones will need to be in communication about exactly where that is. All right, let's do that one more time. Pretty good, pretty good. And one. Sorry to stop you right off the bat. So let's see if we can find a piano dynamic there. Ready, and one. Yeah, and then we need a little break there, so we don't want to hold on to that. There's just that little eighth note, and think of that as just a breath before we go on. Let's start right at vespers. 3 and. Yeah, good. That's all we have time for. We need to take our break. But this is the other one of the other ones to keep working on. We're going to get through a couple of them tonight to kind of prep us for our Saturday contest. All right, I imagine we have some announcements.